Hey everybody, the year is almost over and I am trying to fit in everything that I can into this last month into my December TBR, and I am excited to share that with you, and also I'm excited to get some input from you guys. 2019 is nearly over, and because of that, I really want to make sure that before the year is completed, I've read any major releases that I might be missing. So you can check out my Goodreads profile, it's down below, or you can check out the 2019 books that I really loved. There's a bunch of videos that I posted on my channel if you want to look for those. But I am looking for you guys to give me a suggestion of any major awesome books that came out in 2019 that I may have missed, that I may want to put on this TBR. I'm saving some space for books recommended by you guys from 2019 that I missed. I don't want to miss anything major. Does it really make a difference if I happen to read it next year or anything? No, it doesn't really make a difference, but in my head sometimes it does. I like to get the 2019 major hits in during 2019, and maybe that's because I've always cared about video games, and I want to try to care about video games the year they came out. I'm trying to do that with books as well. So once again, leave a comment down below with books from 2019 that I may have missed that are super awesome that you read. Now, in addition to that, as the year comes to a close, we enter, we finish Thanksgiving, we lead into the Christmas season. No, I didn't pick any Christmas books. I don't really know any Christmas themed books. I guess I could read some cozy mysteries or something. I've never given those a shot. But what I was thinking about doing in December was just kind of focusing on a genre that is comfortable and relaxing to me, because I like the genre the most, which is fantasy. I have not read a lot. I've talked about this in my videos before in a long time, and I have a lot of catching up to do on some of the best fantasy that's come out in modern years. And so I'm reading a lot of fantasy in December. That's my aim with this TBR. And I'm going to go through a bunch of things that people have probably read. These are the books that I've seen recommended all over the place from lots of people that I respect and love. And so I'm trying to get my feet in as many, I'm trying to get my toes in as many, I'm trying to touch as many of these series as possible to see if I like them also. So the first official book of my December TBR is Children of Vice and Virtue, the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone. I actually just finished that. I'll be talking about that in my November wrap-up. And I thought that was a really, really interesting series. And so I'm really curious, especially with the way that it ended, the first book. I'm really curious to see where it goes from there. So that's supposed to be coming out mid this month, December. And so I want to read that. Next up is The Wheel of Time Book 2, The Great Hunt. I really enjoyed that first one. Once again, be talking about it more in my November wrap-up video. But I really ended up liking it. I like where it went. This has been recommended by lots of people, not just Daniel Green, the big Wheel of Time pusher on YouTube, but also friends I have in real life talking about The Wheel of Time. So I've got The Wheel of Time Book 2 in my December TBR. Another series that I missed out on, though I feel like the third one just came out, but it's Scythe. I see that on everybody else's bookshelves if they aren't talking about reading it now, and I don't want to be too far behind on all of these series. The premise of that book looks really interesting, and so I don't want to be left behind there. So I have that on hold from my library, and it should come in for me this month sometime, hopefully, and I would like to read that. Next up is The Lives of Locke Lamora. I feel like everybody is recommending this book, this series. This goes from bigger YouTubers like Murphy, all the way down to people that I've met recently on BookTube, like Sarah from Sarah's Hearts Books, who seem to really, really like this series. And so I'm going to try reading The Lives of Locke Lamora this month. Next up, I was just browsing NetGalley, and I saw that there was a Warhammer 40k book called, Spear of the Emperor. And there was an arc available for that. And I have always had a curiosity for the Warhammer series. I've spent a lot of time in game shops or board game stores, and so I see a lot of Warhammer merchandise and games of Warhammer being played. And I've never really played any of the video games or the board game, but I've always been interested in that world. It's very fantasy or sci-fi or both. And so I thought, hey, there's an arc available. Let's see if I can get it. I got access to this arc, and I want to check it out and see if I like that universe. Maybe I'll explore that more in the future. And the last official book I'm going to say on this TBR is called Four Witnesses, The Early Church in Her Own Words. And this was a book that was recommended to me by one of my pastor friends who found this book interesting because it is the writings of the early church fathers compiled into a form that makes it more like a narrative. And I think that will make it very fascinating and interesting to read. And also, like I said, and I've talked about in both my TBR last month and my wrap-up video, which you haven't seen yet, but I am studying church history. This is something I have an interest in learning right now, and so this was the book I was going to check out. Now, I honestly am still new at the booktube thing, so I have no idea how many books I can actually get read in a month. I think my last month's TBR was incredibly unambitious in my goals. I actually crushed through that entire TBR before half the month was up, and I am still blazing, and that's why my November wrap-up video hasn't been finished, because I'm actually ripping through books, and so I don't want to make too bold of a prediction, but I might read more than that. We'll see. Once again, as the year comes to a close, I want you guys to let me know if there's any major books that I'm missing that I really should pick up and make sure that I read before the end of the year. Though an additional side note is, this is going to be a hectic end of the year for me, not just because of the normal celebrations and family stuff that I have going on, but also my wife is about to deliver a baby. It's due early January, so it could really be any time in the December month that the baby could come. It's our third baby, so that means it could be sooner rather than later, but you never know. So we'll see. Maybe that means I get some reading time while I hold a baby. Maybe it means I don't get any reading time because I'm watching my two older children. We'll find out. Nevertheless, these are the books that I'm looking forward to reading in December. Let me know any books that I'm missing that I should read. And also leave a comment down below if there are books that you are looking forward to reading in December. Let me know what you guys are interested in reading. And also, let me know if you guys have read any of the books that I put on my TBR, and let me know what you think. I am looking forward to discussing these books and maybe more books along with you this month on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.